All right, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today we are going to be talking about digital versus physical media, specifically in video games today, because of an upcoming Sony release and how it's showing us the negative aspects of going into an all digital world in video games, which is going to inevitably happen. It's not there yet, but we're getting there. And this upcoming release kind of shows that negativity. So, obviously, I have a bias towards physical media. I'm a collector. I like showing them off on the wall. I like actually holding something physical in my hands. I know that this is actually mine. And that's a big thing that we're going to talk about specifically for today, because it's not just the collecting aspect. Yeah, it's fun. I can have it in my hands. I can smell the paper, all that kind of stuff. For video games, it's more than just that, because of an upcoming release for Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a remaster on PlayStation 5. Awesome, great news. You can buy it. I think it's for $50 USD, I believe. Maybe 60, I can't remember. And what they're also offering is that you can digitally, if you have the game already, digitally or physically, you can pay $10 to get that remaster. So you have the PlayStation 4 version, cool, just pay $10 digitally and you'll get that remaster. However, if you don't already have this, what Sony has done is in behind the scenes, they have changed the price of Horizon Zero Dawn, which has been $20 USD for the longest time digitally in their store. Most of the time, it'll have a sale when it goes down to like $10. But recently, it has gone up to $40. The actual price for the longest time, 20 bucks, if not 10, and now it's going up to $40 because they want you to pay 40 bucks digitally plus that $10 on top of that, so that it ends up being the exact same price of buying the remaster by itself. That is extremely shady to me. And that is what we are heading towards once it gets to a point where we can no longer buy games physically. Now, if you want to get Horizon Zero Dawn, play it for the first time, or get the remaster, and you don't have a copy digitally or physically, you can still go buy this pretty much for fairly cheap, like probably $10 USD used. If you find a used like GameStop, any other place like a Hot Shop or something like that, eBay even relatively has them for fairly cheap, a lot cheaper than $40 USD. So if that's what you want and you want to play the remaster, go buy a cheap copy of the used game, and then you can pay $10 for that remaster and not have to fork out 50 bucks. That to me is what we're kind of heading towards. And it's kind of scary because digitally, they can do whatever they want, right? Because if they decide that PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever it may be, if we're going to be the only ones that can that offer games, Xbox, I think you can pretty much go through a bunch of different retailers online digitally to buy their games. So that's kind of cool. And Sony did that for a while, but they don't anymore. And I can't remember what Nintendo does. I don't think that you can buy Nintendo games. I think Sony and Nintendo games, both of them, you have to buy specifically from their store digitally, and that's it. There's no other places that you can buy them. And that really bottlenecks that market in the sense that you can only buy from them. They get to choose forever what the price will be. If there's going to be a sale, depends on them. But they don't have to compete with anybody else. And that's where we get the biggest sales. When there is competition, everybody wants your money. So they will lower the price of everything, and the consumer always wins when there's other competition trying to get your money. And we're losing that once we go all digital. We're already seeing it right now with this. And this game you can still pick up used, but Sony is hoping that you won't do that, and you'll just buy the game digitally for 40 bucks and pay that $10 after. I mean, I don't think there's that many people that are going to just go out there and buy that. What it's doing, because they know that, okay, well, if I'm not just going to buy the PlayStation 4 version, then upgrade for 10 bucks afterwards, I'm just going to wait for the remaster and buy the remaster. What they're doing is they're stopping you from being able to just pick up the cheap digital version of the game and then paying $10 after that. It's scary. To me, that's the scariest part. The other, even more scary part than that, not only just are they able to choose how much we pay for everything and we don't get sales nearly as much, that in on itself, we can kind of accept. It's not that big of a deal. What's crazy is that we don't actually own the game when you buy it online. You don't really own it. If they take it off the shop and you don't have it already, and even if you do, they can sometimes take that back because you're not buying the game, you're buying the license to have that game. That's insane. So like you could have this crazy big library, all digital, and then you're saying, okay, I want to go play Horizon or whatever a game it may be. And you go to look and it's no longer in the store and you can't pick it up anymore because it wasn't on your hard drive. You didn't download it when it was available at that time. It's like, oh yeah, we know you paid for it, but you didn't actually pay to buy that game. You just bought the option of playing that game. That's essentially what it is. That's just really messed up. And I think that for the most part, big games like Horizon, Call of Duty, all the Sony first properties, God of War, all of those games, Uncharted, I think those ones will forever be online. I do not see really a moment where a big first party game or even the really big third party games, all the really popular ones that the majority of people, that Grand Theft Auto, that will always be available. It's just the smaller games that have like niche audiences or for whatever reason they might pull back that game from the store from the storefront online. Those ones are kind of the risky games. For example, a lot of RPGs, to me, that's what I'm worried about. Like really small RPGs, story of seasons, farming games. You know, those games that might not have the biggest audiences sometimes, but are really fun. And if you buy it digitally and they decide to pull it from the store and you don't already have it downloaded, you might not be able to get it. And that's just why I love physical copies. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Have you picked up Horizon Zero Dawn? If not, I highly recommend getting it used somewhere. And for me, it's actually going to be the first time I play it because I haven't even broken the seal. So this to me is the perfect time to dive in and try it out for the first time. But let me know your comments about everything. And you have all been bearded in. Beardage.